Hello everyone, today I'm here to share with you my September book haul. So I'm rather excited about this book haul because there's a lot of good books in it. I purchased a few that I'm very excited for. I got sent a lot that I'm really dying to read. So yeah, let's just get right into it. First 4 books I purchased on my own. The first one being Pumpkin Hints by Rainbow Rowell, and it's illustrated by Faith Erin Hicks. So this is Rainbow Rowell's graphic novel. It's about these 2 teenagers that work at like a pumpkin farm or pumpkin patch, whatever, and they both live in different parts of the state or maybe even different states, but like during, I think, one chunk of the year, they come together, their families come together and they work on this pumpkin patch and things like that, and every year it's like a treasured thing, and this year is their last year together. So I believe this book takes place in one night. It's like their last night at the pumpkin patch, so they decide to go on this grand adventure. Either way, I'm saving to read this for October for obvious reasons, but it is adorable. Just like look at this illustrations of the pumpkin patch, and then inside the illustrations looks beautiful. I cannot wait to dive into it and just read it and fall in love because I love Rainbow Rowell and I'm excited to see her in graphic novel format because I haven't read that quite yet. So either way, I'm excited. Tordita Pumpkin. So cute. I also love this cover because it's fall and we all know how obsessed I am with fall. Speaking of fall, this was a total cover buy. This is The Bake Shop at Pumpkin and Spice by Donna Kaufman, Kate Engel, and Allison Charles. I saw this at Target and the cover immediately drew me in and I bought it because of the cover. I don't do that too much, but when I see something very fallish or Christmassy, that's like my number one, I'll buy it for that. I have already read this, so that's good, and I did enjoy it. So this has 3 short stories in it, and it all takes place in this town called Moonbright, and pretty much they're Stars Hollow. Let's just put it that way. They love seasons, they love fall, they love stuff like that, so I picture Stars Hollow. And we follow 3 different women in these stories as they find love. I have already read this and reviewed it, so if you want to check it out, I'll leave it right here, but I didn't love the first story. I really enjoyed the last 2 stories, and I do think this is a really cute fall read. If you're a seasonal reader, I would recommend checking this one out. And the cover alone, the cover is just literally everything. Next up is 5 Dark Fates by Kendara Blake. This is the 4th and final book in the 3 Dark Crowns series. I have already read this and reviewed it. I'll link that up right here as well. I've reviewed every single one of these books in the series and I really enjoy it. 3 Dark Crowns is about this island called Fenber, and in every generation we have a queen and she always bears triplets, and these sisters are born and they are separated when they're like 7 or 8, very, very young, and they each go to different parts of the island that represents their powers. So we have Arsinoe, who's a naturalist and she can do a lot of things with nature and animals. We have Catherine, who is a poisoner who can ingest any poison without any problem and dole out poisons. Then we have Mirabella, who is an elementalist who can control the weather and things like that. And then by the age of their 16, they're reunited once again, and it's like a fight and like a political thing of who will be queen next. And I really enjoy this series. It's the perfect time to read it as well because it's kind of a darker, delicious YA fantasy. And I also say if you're new to the YA fantasy genre and you're really wondering what book will help you get into it, I think this is a very easy series to read. Because I'm sad the series is over, but I'm proud that I read all of them and reviewed them all in a timely manner, and I did really enjoy this series, so I'm sad to see it done. Last book I just purchased is Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. This is the 2nd book in the Carry On series or Simon Snow series. I don't know if there's going to be a 3rd one or if it's going to be a series. I'm horrible at knowing that stuff, so please forgive me. If you know, let me know. But I read Carry On this year finally. I was very late to the bandwagon on it, but I guess it's good news because I didn't have to wait a good amount of time to get the sequel. So Carry On is the 1st book in the series, which is right here. And the way I explain Carry On is was first introduced in another Rainbow Rowell novel called Fangirl. In that book, we have a character named Kath who is very obsessed with the fandom of Simon Snow, aka think of Harry Potter. She would write fan fiction and things like that, and so we would have snippets of Simon Snow in Fangirl. So Rainbow Rowell decided to write a whole book about Simon Snow, and it is not necessary you read Fangirl at all. Sure, it adds a little bit of backstory of, you know, how Simon Snow came to be and things like that, but you don't have to read Fangirl. Simon Snow is a parody, like a lighter spin-off of Harry Potter, honestly. We follow Simon Snow, who is going to magical school, and he's like, you know, the chosen one, much like Harry Potter, and he has a roommate named Baz, who is a vampire, and they kind of have feelings for each other, and like they hate each other. It's kind of like your Harry and Draco if they would have got together, honestly. I enjoyed it. It's funny, it's light, and it's just cute overall, so I can't wait to read this one. Ooh, look at the inside. There's clouds all in it. even the hardback. I know Barnes & Noble has a different edition, but this is just as beautiful. So I cannot wait to read it. I'm very, very excited too. And the cover is just stunning. I love the bright yellow. I love yellow. Moving on to books I got sent for review. The first one being Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. Shay Earnshaw also wrote The Wicked Deep, which got released last year, which I love and adore and always recommend for the fall. Winterwood, if I'm honest with you, I don't know much about it, and I want it to be that way. With Wicked Deep, I also didn't know much about it. I just read it on a whim, and I'm so happy I did. This one, I think it's like the woods, and we have witches, and it's about a girl named Nora, and then she meets a guy named Oliver. I don't know. I will say the reviews of this have not been the best, but nevertheless, I'm still just excited because Shay Earnshaw really writes very atmospheric, kind of spooky reads that I think are perfect to read in October. So I am excited for this one, even though the reviews aren't the best. I plan to read it very soon. And again, her covers are always kind of really ominous and spooky, and I'm just, oh, I cannot believe Simon sent this to me. I'm so excited. Next up, I got sent Now Entering Adamsville by Francesca Zappia. I was not expecting this in the mail. I totally forgot that she had a book coming out this year. I didn't even mention it in my most anticipated releases, which goes to show sometimes I miss things a lot of times. But this one is her latest one. She also wrote Eliza and Her Monsters, which I really enjoy. It's a YA contemporary. This one, I think, is about a town called Adamsville, and it's full of ghosts, and we have a character named Zora, and I think this murder happens, and she's framed for a crime that she didn't commit. And then we also have like this ghost documentary, or like a ghost show, well, the proper word is for that, coming to town, that's, you know, filming the town, things like that, and that shakes things up. So what I'm getting from this, it's like kind of a dark, eerie town, and Zora has to prove that she's innocent, and there's also ghosts in the mix. Either way, it sounds like a perfect fall read. Can you sense a trend for this video? That's just how it goes for fall, and I love it. But either way, I am so excited to read this because I see it's going to be like a contemporary but a little bit of a darker one, and I'm all for it, and I really love Francesca Zappia's writing. So a couple titles from Berkeley, who they are adult romance books. The first one is Not the Girl You Marry by Andy J. Christopher. This is a gender-swapped How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days book. If you don't know, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days has Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson. I will tell you, it's not one of my favorite chick flicks, and let me tell you, I've watched a lot of chick flicks. It's my favorite thing to watch. But I still like it. Like, I would watch it if it came on. I do own it, you know. It's a solid chick lit. It's not one of my favorite. But I love the plot of it, and this one's going to be gender swapped. So we have Jack Nolan as a gentleman and unlucky in love. Then we have Hannah, who's extremely successful event planner. Mr. Jack, he's the perfect man to date for a couple weeks to prove that her boss is not scared of feelings. Before Jack and Hannah know it, their fake relationship starts to feel all too real, and neither of them can stand to lose the other. So either way, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days gets a millennial makeover. I'm here for it. I'm excited. I definitely want to read it. This one comes out in November, so I'll probably try to read it around then so I can review it for you guys. I have Blitz by Alexa Martin. This is the third book, I want to say, in her Intercepted series, I believe. I read Intercepted, really enjoyed it. I have not yet read Fumbled. I'm so behind. Alexa Martin in this series in particular is all about football romance. So if you really like sports romance, definitely check this one out. I don't love football romances as much. I like baseball romances because I'm really enjoying baseball currently. Go Braves, but if you know any good baseball romances, hit me up in the comments. Anyway, if you really are into sports romance, in particular football romance, definitely check this series out. Then I have a book from Putnam, I believe, and this is Would You Like to Meet by Rachel Winters. Again, with the cutesy illustrated covers this year. It is a trend. As you can see, there's already 3 covers alone already with that. I could do a whole video about that, really. But basically, I think it's about Evie, who has to work with a romantic comedy screenplay writer named Ezra, and Ezra thinks rom-coms are stupid and unrealistic, and will only put pen to paper if Evie proves to him that it's possible to meet a man in real life the way it happens on the big screen. So it's going to be kind of like a rom-com, like prove me rom-coms are real, which I'm there for. I think it's going to be cute. This one comes out in December. So yeah, a little bit of time, but either way, this sounds hella cute, and I definitely want to read it soon because rom-coms are my life. From Penguin, I have Steel Tide by Natalie C. Parker. This is the sequel to Seafire, which I read last year and really enjoyed. Seafire is basically about female pirates, is the way I could pitch it to you, and it's about these gang of female pirates that kind of go and seek revenge, and it's just really good and really action-packed. It doesn't get talked about enough here on BookTube, but I really enjoy it. This one should already be out. Yes, it's already out. I'm behind on reading it. Hopefully I'll get to it in November or December. I'm behind on things because of just, you know, when October comes around, I have a certain set of books I want to read because if I haven't made it clear enough, I'm a very seasonal person. I have American Rules by Catherine McGee. She also wrote the 1,000 Floors series, which I have yet to read, but I love this cover, even the inside. Like, end papers are gorgeous. Everything about it is really stunning. Oh, it even has a crown on the hardback. So this one, I believe, is like, what if America had royalty, pretty much, I think. When America won the Revolutionary War, its people offered General George Washington a crown. 2.5 centuries later, the House of Washington still sits on the throne. So we follow a character named Princess Patrice, and she becomes the first Queen Regent. I think she may have defined a love or something. Either way, I mean, I haven't read much of royalty books. Like, I like it, but I'm not one of the people that's like overly obsessed with royalty. I'm just not, honestly. But I do want to check out this book and let me know if you've read it and you like it and what you think of it and stuff like that. But I like it as well because I like royalty, but I'm not like super in love with it. But this does sound really cute and really interesting. Hang one as well, and that's Rules for Vanishing. This one is a mystery thriller, a YA one. It's about a girl named Sarah who knows the way to save her sister is to follow the road in the woods, and it only appears once a year. Oh, it's got like kind of a paranormal aspect to it. The one with rules and secrets the travelers must keep. The one Lucy Gallows walked decades ago before she disappeared and becomes nothing more than a ghost. Oh, this sounds really interesting. Do I dare add you to my already insanely long TBR? Oh my gosh. Also, look, here's another thing. You can look at a cover so many times and just barely look at it, and then when you look at it really and you see things that you didn't see before. Take, for example, when you just look at this, you see like an open in the woods. No, it's like a person. This is like hair right here. Here are the hands. This is like a dress. I didn't see that before. It always does that to me too with YA mystery thrillers, and I look at it more and I'm like, wow, yeah, I don't know if I'm just stupid, but I just noticed that, and maybe you just did too. And we have The Lady Rogue by Jen Bennett. I love this cover. Unfortunately, I did not love the book. So Jen Bennett is one of my favorite YA contemporary authors. I love all of her YA contemporary stuff. They're cute, they're sappy, they're what I'm there for. This was her first foray into YA fantasy, and I wanted to love it so much, but I didn't. All I can tell you about this book, it's about a girl named Theodora, I think, and her dad's like a traveler, and he goes off on these grand adventures, and he's off to find this ring for Vlad the Impaler, who I think is like descendant of almost like Dracula, so I thought it was gonna have like a paranormal aspect, which it didn't. It did a little bit, but Theodora's dad goes missing, and then her and her best friend, also kind of love interest Huck, team up together to go to find him, and then they get more involved with this ring and things like that. Really struggled to get through it. I'll talk about it more in my wrap up, but nevertheless, I didn't love this book, but maybe you will. I don't know. The reviews are kind of polar on Goodreads. And now moving on to book boxes, I'll quickly go over those. The first one is Alcrate. I got The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. This one is about a family that like owns like a graveyard and works at a graveyard and like has to grave dig, which is creepy. And then like these people do not stay buried. They come up as ghosts and stuff like that. So this family has to like control that, which sounds really interesting. Again, perfect for October. My TBR is already long enough. What am I gonna do? Either way, it sounds really interesting. They also threw in the classic The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I'm sure you've heard of this. There was a Netflix show about it. There's been movies about it. I don't think I'll ever read it because I don't do horror, but I sure do love the cover. Book of the month, I got 2 books this month. The first one being Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. And I'm not gonna lie to you, again, this was a cover appeal for me. I saw the cover and I was like, it looks really interesting. I don't know anything about it, but the cover drew me in. A daring Oxford rebel takes on a powerful duke in a love story that threatens to upend the British social order. Takes place in 1989, and I don't do really well with really historical books. Like, I can do good like 20s and 30s, but anything before that I really struggle with, so I think that's why I'm like somewhat nervous to read it. But I've heard really good things about this. I think it's supposed to be like a funny comedy romance. Let me know, because if it's gonna be good, I need to read it ASAP. Only I Could Tell You by Hannah Beckerman. What I know about this, it's like a family drama with a lot of siblings coming together finally. And it's about like a secret. Once the truth is revealed, will it be enough to put her family back together again, or will it break them apart forever? So it's definitely a serious, like literary fiction family drama almost, if you will. And lastly, for YA Book of the Month, which if you didn't know, YA Book of the Month is new. If you don't like the adult Book of the Month picks, they have YA ones. I'll leave all the links down below. This was 1000% again a cover pick. The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Hurrow. I mean, the cover is stunning. I'm obsessed with it. I don't know, like even on the inside. When one enters a door, one must be brave enough to see the other side. I think it's about a girl that finds a book that carries a secret of other worlds, tells a tale of secret doors, love, and adventure, and danger. So it's not really high up on my priority list. That's just the honest truth, but the cover is stunning. Those are all the books I got this month in my book haul. I hope you enjoyed. There's a lot of good titles coming out very soon that I am just itching to get. I'm itching for October to get here to alleviate some of my TBR books because they've all been like accumulating for October. I even have a set for like December. I'm seasonal. I'll say that time and time again. It's a good thing and a bad thing about me. As always, if you've heard of any of these books and you've read them, let me know your thoughts and opinions because I really need your feedback whether or not I'll like them, because if you think I'll like them, I'll definitely push them up on my TBR. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.